Well, welcome to News Night. It is a Saturday evening, and of course, this is a very special edition. This is the Freedom Day edition of News Night, really, where we get to find out from the mouth of babes, our young people, our future voters, what do they think about the political discourse? What do they think about the country? What do they think about you? What do they think about myself? Everything that we wanted to find out about where the young person's mind is at, that future leader and that future voter in this country. We've got that and more in the studio this afternoon. Now, it's not an easy conversation that we're going to have because we're going to ask them to be very honest, and they're going to get a very honest opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because they're not voting that they're not thinking about the pressing issues of our time, and it doesn't mean that because they're not placing that X on the ballot paper that they do not have opinions about the type of leaders that they want for our time. So I've got panelists, and I've also got audience and studio members who are going to be having a conversation amongst themselves. Well, all I'm going to be doing really is facilitating this conversation amongst the mouth of babes. So I'm going to use this time to introduce to you my panelists. I'm starting off with Yoli. Yoli's on my beginning side, my left-hand side. And then I have got the beautiful Ruru. She's like the most beautiful. She can see she's a princess. Princess Ruru is what I call her. And then we've got Kiral, the coolest kid on the block. And of course, on the other side of it, we've got 7-year-old Sim Tiger. Now, for those who do not necessarily know who Sim Tiger is, he is literally known as the 14th best golfer in the world, the youngest golfer, 14th. That is what he is ranked. These young people are going to be having conversations with us about what they think about the country. And then on the other side, I've got my wonderful studio audience, and they've got an opinion of their own. They're going to be led by the beautiful Sia, who's going to be assisting me with this conversation. They're going to have different opinions, and they get to tell us exactly what they think about this country. What do they want to see few young minds put together, and also challenging, and maybe even challenging us as adults in terms of exactly the type of country that they want to see. So join me along as we have this conversation with the young people as well. Hello, guys. Hi. So we're going to start off with you. I'm Yoli. I'm going to start off with you. When it comes to Freedom Day, I mean, we speak about this all the time, and we have conversations about Freedom Day and what it means. But what does it mean for you?
What it means for me is like to celebrate the day that people could do like what they never could. For example, what I'd like to say is like back in the days when women couldn't go out and vote and only men could.
Yeah.
And the woman had to stay at home and sew.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That is all about Freedom Day. And for you, Ruru, what is Freedom Day to you?
The president built hospitals,
Yeah.
houses, and schools
Yeah.
with clean water and electricity.
And that's all about Freedom Day. And Kiral, how important is it that we celebrate Freedom Day as a country?
I think it's important that all of us celebrate it because it is the first time since 1994
Yeah.
that all of us of all races could finally vote.
To finally vote. Okay, so we're talking about all races since 1994. Sim Tiger, I must ask you, what do you understand about racism? I mean, you know, we're having this conversation about Freedom Day, and some of the issues there is around racism. What do you know about racism?
So I know that Cyril Ramaphosa,
Yeah.
He was in jail about
Well, a few years.
a few years, a lot of years, and until
He was in jail. You mean Nelson Mandela?
Yes, Nelson Mandela.
Okay, Nelson Mandela, yes.
So now that since in the I think the 27th of April, it be the day before only the white people were allowed to vote. Until it came, this day was it changed all of it. So
Yeah.
now we can vote. Now we can go around the world.
Yeah, I mean, you going around the world because you're a golfer, and how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel happy,
Yeah.
and I'm happy that I'm excited to go to Scotland, USA.
Yeah. Well, we're going to speak more about that. I want us to touch base on it. But when we're talking about politics, Amuli, what do you think politicians should be doing for this country?
What I think they should be doing is like helping provide for the people.
Do you think they're doing that right now?
Well, honestly, I don't know for sure, but if they are, they're doing a great job.
Really? Okay, and then what do you think about who do you think is a good leader in the country, Ruru?
It's Ramaphosa
Why do you say that?
because he helps us stop crime and he makes kids safe.
Okay, makes kids safe. Okay, so from that side, panelists, I'm going to go straight to my audience and members. Who would like to tell me about Freedom Day? What does Freedom Day mean to you? Yes, you? What's your name, baby? Hello, Nandi. Nandi, tell me about Freedom Day. What does Freedom Day mean to you?
Freedom Day means 25 years ago, 1994. 1994.
We all voted?
It was the black people's first time to vote. They couldn't vote before that.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very, very true, Nandi. And for you at the back there, what's your name, baby?
Lelona.
Okay, what do you understand about Freedom Day?
Freedom Day was the day when black people were allowed to vote and apartheid stopped.
What do you know? Do you guys know about apartheid?
Yes.
Yeah, some? All right. Inami, where's Inami? Inami, do you understand about apartheid? Do you know about apartheid? Let's just give him the microphone there at the back. Yes, tell me about it.
All I know about Freedom Day
Yeah.
is that everyone had opportunities to vote for those.
Okay, see, I want you to just give him another microphone so that we can find out about Freedom Day because I want to give him an opportunity to speak. Yes, Inami, yes, go on, tell me about it.
It was everyone in South Africa got a chance to vote for our first black president, that is Mr. Nelson Mandela. And everyone got opportunities to better education and health.
Do you think that we've got better education and health right now?
Yes.
Okay, and then do you guys know about apartheid? Yes. You do? You don't? Okay, tell me about it.
Apartheid was when women were busy sewing and men could vote, and when black people and white people went together.
I have to ask you, what are some of the problems that you think are facing the country and that you face? Yes, baby. What are some of your problems? I want to know about the problems that you face. Let's start off with her. Give her the microphone. What's your name?
My name's Kekeleto.
Kekele, tell me about it. What problems are you facing that we need to know about as adults?
I think the problem in South Africa right now that most of the people are facing, and also I am, is that some of the prices in taxis and shops are going way too high, and that some people can't afford them, and that they're really running low on food, and that they really are starving now, and their children can't bring food to school.
Sure. So how do you think we get to solve? So, I feel like I'm so far away from you, and I know that I'm trying to be a news anchor, but I think I need to be a human right now. So hopefully the camera gets to follow me. So tell me about it. So, okay. So you're saying that it's the food prices, the prices of food, and people can't afford food anymore. What do you think? How do we solve that?
I think that they should lower the prices a bit, because I know that some shops need the money, but still, we are human beings. We still need to save the money, because some of us still have bills to pay, and some of us still need the money for bigger reasons.
Oh, wow, that is a very good point. Where's Luthlumen? Okay, I have to ask you a question. I heard that you've got quite a strong opinion about land in this country. What do you think about land in this country? Tell me about it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to speak in a moment. Yes, go ahead.
And I know that Nelson Mandela was in jail in Robben Island.
Oh, wow. Okay, yes, he was in jail in Robben Island. I must ask you, so you were talking about some of the problems that you are facing as kids. I also want to hear from you as well. What are some of the problems that you're facing? Tell me.
I've been facing a lot of problems.
Tell me about them, baby. I want to know all about the problems that you're facing.
By polluting, because some people can't survive by pollution, because there's air polluting, there's ground pollution, there's water pollution, and that needs to stop for people to live nicely, because it makes the earth smaller.
Pollution. How do we tell people not to litter? How do we tell them how? What must we do? Tell me.
I think that we must try and make a citizen for like children from young or older can start picking up papers, providing our earth.
Do you think that you've got good leaders in the country?
Yes, I think we do have a lot of good leaders in the country.
Like?
Like Cyril Ramaphosa.
Okay. You think that he's a good leader?
Yes.
You're all agreeing?
Yes.
Okay, I want to hear from now. You found your voice, huh? Why do you think that he's a good leader? Tell me.
Because he gives us things.
Like what?
Maybe he built for us.
Okay.
And
I must ask you another question. Do you think that, we're celebrating 25 years of our democracy. Do you know what democracy is?
No.
No, okay. Well, democracy is exactly what you said, Freedom Day, right? It's the time where before we all could have equality and we could all have rights. And now, before we couldn't have those rights. We couldn't vote, all of us, and black people especially could not vote. Now we can all vote. Before we could not have opinions and people used to do horrible things. Now we can have that. Yes.
Before we didn't vote, black people weren't sharing with white people.
They weren't?
Sharing with white people.
Yes, and why do you think that? I'm going to give you a chance to think about that as well. So, as you can see, it's a whole lot of democracy. So we must ask you guys about the importance of voting. Do you think that South Africans know about how important it is to vote? Yes. Do you think so? Yes. Tell me about. Okay, I'm going to let you speak. Yes. Tell me. Do you think South Africans know about the importance of voting?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
It's about when South Africans vote for their leaders.
Okay, so do you think that, how important is it for people to go and vote?
It is important because they could vote for their own leaders and their leader could take care of them.
That's very true. My panelists, you guys are talking amongst yourselves, so I must ask you, Emioli, how important is it, do you think, that is voting, especially right now, 25 years into our democracy?
I think voting is going to be very special because, like, finally, now the black people can vote and we don't have to stay at home. And, well, yeah, I think that's about it.
And for you, Kira?
I think that whoever votes will have the power to put whichever party in power, and it is their responsibility to take care of us and the people and the country.
So then what happens, Carol, if you're talking right now and you're 11, right? You're the coolest age in the world, according to me. So you're sitting, and what if there's like a 16-year-old, no, not a 16, what if there's like a 22-year-old that is sitting at home and going, Carol, but I don't want to vote? How do you convince that 22-year-old that is sitting at home that does not want to vote?
Well, it kind of sounds like my sister because she was forced to vote.
Are you serious? So your sister was not going to vote? So tell me about that. And then what do you have to say to her to make sure that she votes?
Well, I wanted to say to her that she has to vote in order to make this country a better place for all of us.
And then, if they don't believe in voting, Tiger, if people don't believe in voting, how do you convince them to vote?
No, 'cause this is the thing. So if people don't want to vote, that's going to be a problem.
Tell me about it. What's the problem?
The problem is because if people don't vote, we get more from what happens if the white people vote more than us. That means we all not going to be level together. Because if we're not level, then that's not going to give us enough conducive.
Yeah. So it's very important for everybody to come out and vote. And for you, Ruru? Why must girls vote? Tell me about the girls. Why must girls vote?
Because they must work hard so they can get money to buy what they want.
They must have their own money. You can stay. High five. You can definitely stay. So we're looking at, shedding some light in terms of these conversations that we're going to be happening and looking at where you guys are sitting right now. Who wants to be president one day? All of you. Okay, I've got a challenge for you. You too. Anybody else wants to be president? Okay, all right. So for those that want to be president, because now it's a time where you get to decide, well, not you, but you in a few years' time. You get to decide who's going to be the president. I want to know why you should be president. From each of you. Yes, okay, so we're going to start at the back. And for everybody that put up their hand and said they want to be president one day, I want to know why is it that I, in my very old age one day, must vote for you.
I want to be president because I want to make South Africa a better place where everyone is treated equally and everyone has homes and brighter educations for the younger ones.
Okay. Why? How are you going to do that?
Because I want to encourage people so that we should stop polluting our land and that we should make our spare time for those people on the streets. There are some people who have lots of money and they just spend it on themselves instead of giving it to charity. I understand that they also need money, but it's still a good thing to give to charity because some people have less and some people don't even have it all.
I can vote for you. All right, who else? Who else wants to be president one day? No, I don't think so. Yep, there we go.
I wanted to be president to change the rural areas to be like here, so the children who are in the rural areas to feel like how we live here, and so that they don't fall in big bathrooms and then die without life. And it's better to make sure that people have more lives than people die like now, because we need children to grow more older so they can learn about more future.
So it's very important for you to know that children in the rural areas have got the same opportunities as children in the urban areas.
Yes.
And I also heard that you want to be a policeman one day.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that. Why specifically police?
I want to be a police because that to take care of people, that they don't die, or some people don't steal stuff that are really mean to them, like as let's say grandma gave them a gift from passing away, and I don't want like people to be sad that someone stole it and it meant a lot to them.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very true point, very fair point. I think I need a policeman like you. Who else wants to be president one day? Okay, you. Tell me about, why do you want to be president?
I wanted to be president because I wanted to help all the poor people and all the homeless people. And
how are you going to do that, though? Tell me, how are you going to do? How are we going to help? You've given me your plan of action. What are you going to do to help the homeless people?
I'm gonna get them new houses and food. And money, and some of the people that are rich normally use the money for bad stuff.
Like what?
Like smoke, like cigarettes.
That's very bad for you, by the way. Yeah. And so you're saying that you're going to take all of that money and you're going to give it to people that need it the most?
Yes.
I think so. I can vote for you. Anybody else that wants to be president before I move on to my panelists? No, she wants to be president. Hey, sweetheart, tell me, why do you want to be president?
I want to be president so I can help everyone that's out there that do not have food or anything. And it's also dangerous for the parents with their children to be staying outside. As I want to be a president, I want to help all those people suffering, and I want to make some educations for free. Because
you think that education should be free? Tell me about that. Why do you think education should be free?
I think education should be free because some kids are out there learning, suffering. They don't have money to pay for their school fees. Some of them don't even have shelters on top of their heads as we have that. And I think I think education should be free so that all the kids could learn what they have to learn in schools.
I think so too. I couldn't agree with you. Do you guys think education should be free?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it should be free because, like, it does take away having to pay so much money just for, like, let's say a single class or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, and for you, Kira?
I have to agree with Amyoli with this because parents are paying so much money for school fees. And I think that it should be free to all people.
And then for you, Suntaga, I mean, we're talking about education, but you also said you wanted to be president. So tell me about it before. Why is it that I must vote for you? And one day I'm going to be very old and you're going to be sitting in front of the TV and I'm going to have to watch you on TV telling me to vote for you. So why must I vote for you?
Now look, I've started sports at the age of 2.
Okay.
And I did golf 9 months ago at the age of 4. Now, if I want to be president, that means I would like people to not be hurt anymore, and I would love people to not be unkind because the white people have already made us be sad, but we at least want.
The white people have made you sad. How?
Yes, because they say in the olden days they didn't like the color, so they treating us like slaves.
Sure. Okay, and then if you're president, you're going to change all that. Okay, guys, I think that a lot was said. I think that you've educated and you schooled me all. So thank you so much for joining me and having this conversation. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming through. Yay. So happy to have you. Look, I'm going to vote for every single one of you. I don't know how many presidents I'm going to have, but I'm going to vote for every single one of you. So you guys are going to have a tough time deciding amongst yourselves who gets to be president. But as I said, these are conversations that young people are having. These are 6-year-olds. I've got one more 5-year-old, I think, in the audience as well. So these are young people that are having conversations amongst themselves. So this was just a little bit of a synopsis and a little bit of an insight into what your child thinks and feels and says every single day and what their view of the future is. Because ultimately, these people who are not qualified as yet to vote, they're going to be voting some days. And sometimes it's best to get a little bit of insight and to come into their space and know exactly what they're thinking at every given moment in time. So that is where we're going to leave our conversation. Is